Friends too.
Well, what's going on, John?
Hey, Randy. Happy day after blow stuff up day.
Oh yeah. Did you do anything last night?
Yeah, I listened to explosions going off forever, and then the thunderstorm. So they apparently pissed off the gods, and then it rained its ass off. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I thought it was funny because our neighbors had little poppers and all this kind of stuff, and Christy was kind of like, they're popping fireworks. They're popping fireworks. It almost reminded me of a scared animal going, I can't sleep.
that was
like, what the
that was every one of my dogs. I'd let them outside. They're like, yeah, I need to go out. And then something would go off and they'd turn around and run to the door. I'm like,
fuck that.
That's not happening. I got it.
Yeah, they were shooting them off till, oh my gosh, I think midnight when it finally dozed off. And then about 2 o'clock, I woke back up going, shit, is it time for work? But I was like I woke up in a whole different, I don't know. So what did you do, Matt?
Well, we actually did our 4th of July the night before, so we did it Monday night. Court that we live on, we all kind of do a big block court party, and my wife is the social one. I just kind of following her, and so she kind of rallies the troops. But anyway, the whole idea was that all the parents, if we did a thing the night before, then we could have our actual day off to like hang out, recoup, be hungover, do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I laid low on the actual 4th. I think I was actually chilling watching TV in bed by like 7 o'clock.
That's what I did. I was like, man, this is like the first year that we haven't gone over to my in-laws, and they have this big block party and stuff as well. And it just fell on a weird day. So yeah. It was just kind of like, got to work tomorrow. And
like ultimately for me, it was great because I didn't work Wednesdays.
Oh, nice.
Nobody works Wednesdays in Topeka, Kansas.
That's right.
I don't know what this is. Well, I guess Matt, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, enough about fireworks. Let's talk to music.
Yeah. Well, I'm Randy, and I'm in Oklahoma City.
Okay, cool.
And I'm John. I'm in Topeka, Kansas.
Nice. Well, I'm Matt, and I'm in Northern California. I'm actually in my son's room right now, so.
Too cool. So, tell us what you've got going on. I mean, you just recently.
Wait. Let's make Randy back up. I want him to back up. Let's talk about how your guys' band started, and then how it restarted first.
Okay. You want like the super, super long version, or as Cliff Notes as I can put it?
You can go either route. We've got all the time in the world.
That's right.
I'll split the difference. Basically, Dino, our singer and basic songwriter extraordinaire. He and I go way back in Sacramento, so we've known each other for a long time. And I was kind of out of music. I played in various bands from the time I was 14, 15 years old, and I toured and did everything that bands do, and I got burnt out and decided I was kind of done with music for a little bit. But Dino had a band. He is the mastermind behind Sages, and they were together for about a year or so, maybe a little longer. And by happenstance, Dino and I kind of ran into each other, and kind of caught up a little bit. We hadn't been, super close in a handful of years, but, on each other's radar. And I ended up going to see his band play, and they were playing with another band who are friends of mine, Black Map, and they both want to build together. And after the show, Dino and our guitar player now, Ryan, who was a guitar player then, kind of pulled me aside, and they were like, we're kind of looking for a new bass player, just a new vibe, and it's not really working out with the guy that we have, and how would you feel about, would you be down to play bass for us? And first of all, I'm not a bassist. I can grind away with the pick, and I mean, I can get the job done in a rock application, but I do not fashion myself as like, oh, I'm some bass extraordinaire. I'm a vocalist by trade. I was sang in my other bands, and guitar is probably my forte as far as my go-to instrument. Okay. But I was like, sure, man, like I'd be down if you guys are down, and I can keep up. Cool. And that's basically how Sages was born, as far as me being in it. And that was back in 2015. And then we did some cool stuff, and it was nice to really reconnect with Dean, and had a blast. It was cool for me personally, because I kind of missed music again. I feel like I kind of had to, you don't know what you got till it's gone kind of thing. I kind of had to walk away to really appreciate like the privilege of being able to do it. Yeah. And so, we went pretty strong for a good 3 years or so together. In 18, it kind of fizzled. We got a little stagnant, and a couple of guys in the band, I think, were a little restless. They're younger, and they're like, we want to go. We want to do it. Is very calculated. He's very I don't know if calculated is the right word. He's okay with just letting things see how they sort of pan out. Like, he's not the type of guy that's like, I got to be playing every single night, like just to be playing, or let's go sleep on floors just to say. We've all sort of paid our dues, and it's like, so like the stuff that we were doing, like we wanted it to be worthwhile. And so anyway, there's some inner tensions, nothing major. I mean, no, VH1 behind the music action, just, we just kind of fizzled. A couple guys went this way, and Sages sort of fizzled. And, through really me starting another project with some other friends, Sacramento is a big, small town. I mean, it's we've got over 1 million people here, but it's still a really small, close-knit, incestuous music community. And, there's only so many spots to rehearse and to practice and record. And so, I started another project, and ran into Dino, kind of coming and going out of the same studio. And Ryan, who I mentioned before, our guitar player, had met up for a beer probably a week or so before that. It's like almost like the universe just kind of went like, hey, we're going to put you guys in front of each other and see what happens. And Dino was like, I've been thinking about like that. Like, I'm wanting to rock again. Because, I mean, he plays all kinds of music. I mean, rock is I think probably where his heart and soul are. But like, I mean, he's all about everything, and a multi-instrumentalist. And so yeah, it just kind of happened. And my buddy Chris, who plays drums in Black Map, you know, we shared a room together, the other project that I was doing, and I just kept hounding Chris. I was like, dude, come play drums, dude, come play drums. And and I always was reluctant to like kind of mix that. I won't even call it business because it's so much fun, but just like, you know, we've been close just outside of music as well. And like, Chris has always been a guy, you know, that I've looked up to as far as a drummer. I mean, since I was a teenager. And so I really tried to like toe that line of like letting him know I would love for you to like do this with us, but also like, I'm not going to bug you about it. And, you know, one night and a few drinks, and all of a sudden we decided we're going to do this. So and that was back the height of basically like COVID, like that first, yeah, I want to say 2020, you know, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so
you guys were getting together recording around COVID, or writing and stuff around COVID?
Yeah, like so it is a different, you know, three of us were in stages, you know, originally. So myself, Ryan, our guitar player, and Dino. It was actually a 5-piece, so we're minus one guy, and Chris is the new addition. And yeah, I think, I mean, without sounding like, I don't know, trying to sound too worldly or over the top, I genuinely think like the love of song is really what makes it such a fun experience for us. Like, we've all been in heavy bands, we've all been in hardcore bands, we've all kind of exercised those demons, you know?
Right.
And I think now, kind of coming full circle, not that we're old by any means, but I would say matured. We really just kind of like come together over song. And like, Dino, as far as I'm concerned, is a prolific songwriter as far as what I want to hear out of songs. And I think Dino just got super inspired. Like, he had a couple tunes and he was like, what do you guys think? And we're like, you know, because we needed something to rock. And we were like, this is awesome. And he just went on a tear. Like, I think just something, I think the fact that we were so excited about it just opened up something in him. And he would literally every 48 hours, he was giving us a new demo. I got a new one. I got a new one. I got a new one. And we're just like, dude, what is happening? Like,
no shit. I am just amazed at people that can do that. And I've seen them before. It just pours out. It's like, I can't even write one verse of anything, and you're putting all this together, and it's crazy. Some people are just so uberly talented. It just makes me sick.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I joke around about how like ironically frustrating it is. Like, exactly like you said, it's like, damn, like, why can't I do that? But then I'm so thankful and grateful that like I have somebody like that in my life that like is willing to share it with me. Like, we were all just blown away, and I think it just started steamrolling, and before we knew it, we had, you know, within the first, you know, 4 or 5 months of playing together, we probably had 15 tunes. I mean, it was
wow.
It was crazy, you know, and not all of them were like, you know, oh dude, this
stuff,
this is going to be top 40 single, but like, I mean, not really far off. Like, Dino's kind of a perfectionist, but the speed in which he can just get these demos out, and the quality to be something to where we can all bite on it and see the vision. Like, it's they're not garage demos or, you know, just a, you know, recorder set up with his acoustic guitar. I mean, they're pretty produced. You know, he's got his little template at home, and like, yeah, I mean, it's been awesome, you know, and it ebbs and flows, you know, he'll dry out for a little bit, and, you know, but it's like, he'll have given us so much material, like, you know, in months prior, that we're like, all right, well, we haven't even started this demo. Like, let's start working this one, you know what I mean? So
too cool. So does he record those at his house and just send them to you guys, or you guys meet up, and, or, you know, or how does that go? How does that work?
Yeah, for the most part, like, he basically he does most of it in the box in his house.
Okay.
And then, you know, like, we'll chime in, you know, because he's always like, hey, what do you think? What do you think? What what do you think about this? How, and if we do have suggestions, which we do, we'll work them out in the space, in the studio, and like we'll kind of start to put our own little twists and things on them, and we'll help out with arrangements, or we might hear something here or there. But like honestly, like 90% of it comes from him, and he's just like, bam, and it's I don't know, I don't
You're
even
lucky.
know
You're lucky.
it's crazy.
Hey, Randy, with all that being said, I think we should get a little sample.
Okay.
of music.
You guys had a new single come out, "Walk Away,"
We did.
just last month. I was going to play a little bit of that.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are. This is Sage's "Walk Away." All right. I take it your wife came home?
Me? No.
John.
No, sadly, no, not yet.
Oh, I was like, that was perfect timing. He just knew as soon as his wife came home, the dogs were going to go ape shit. He's like, "Oh, you were playing music right when she walked in the door." I was like, that was perfect.
That would have been perfect timing if that were the case.
Okay.
But I actually just found it humorous because I had to blow my nose, but then the song started. I was like,
oh, and
walking
you
away.
walked away. I get it now.
So that's why nobody else could see because the music was on the screen.
Right.
But then I popped my head back like I was like, "Hey, see you guys," because I was walking away. So that was my humor for the night. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. So who do you think are your biggest influences on your guys' music and how you guys create?
So I mean, at the risk of sounding like everybody else, I honestly, I mean, we're a pretty eclectic group as far as where we come from musically. To rattle off certain bands, I mean, that's probably tough to do. I mean, I know that I grew up, listening to bands like, Quicksand. I was a big fan of kind of the East Coast hardcore and post-hardcore scene. I mean, I grew up in Sacramento. It was a hotbed. I mean, we were going to Deftone shows and FAR shows, and I mean, so that's probably. I mean, you can probably hear that in the music. As far as a collective, there are definitely bands that we all love. I mean, those are three of them right there. But I think, as far as like, it's not really like a, here I just said like Dino can be calculated as far as like with what he wants to do on a daily basis. But I think the music that he and we write, like, it's really, it just kind of comes out like, and I think based on the genre the era we grew up in the 90s and stuff like that, it definitely apparent. Like, it's not really contrived. It just comes out of us. We were all like young rock, inspired kids. But I mean, I answered this question, and the way that for me personally, like, I just like bands that like have an identity that like can't be mistaken. You know what I mean? Like, so
yes, like if there was a band that dressed up like a bunch of mimes and they took the stage with a lot of explosions, they have their own identity, right?
Right, exactly. But I mean, bands that like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm probably going down a wormhole here. I guess, I guess, I guess, you know, far more people than not can be replaced. But I just feel like when I started playing music, you know, when I was younger, like the bands that I liked, I felt like if one person wasn't in that band, it wouldn't be the same. And I guess
Agreed. Yeah.
that's what I mean by identity. And I feel like, yeah, Sages, we're all like normal dudes. I mean, we're not dressing up like mimes and like, you know, like we don't have some shtick, and maybe that's boring. I don't know, but I feel like there's a certain aura and a vibe between the four of us that, like, if any one dude was gone, it wouldn't be the same. And it's kind of, again, it wasn't contrived, it just happened to be that way. And like, and that's what I hear a lot about, or from people that come to see us. They're like, man, it looks like you guys are genuinely enjoying yourselves up there. And I guess in a roundabout way to answer your question, like, I just like bands that like exude that they want to do it, not just that like out here because this is just what we do now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
going
Like,
through the motions. I totally get that. I went to a concert in Tulsa a couple of weeks ago. And
almost a month ago.
was it a month ago?
3 weeks.
Okay. And you could just tell they were just so happy to be doing what
right,
they're doing. And this is
right,
big band
yeah,
that's been around for a long time,
sure,
and just smiles, just so
yeah,
genuinely happy to be doing what they would do it if they didn't get paid. You
right.
could tell.
And I love that. Like, that's the most inspiring thing to me. And when I see artists and bands that are like that, it makes me want to play. So
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, like, I don't even know that I'm inspired sonically anymore. It's more like vibe. It's more just charisma, and you know what I mean? Like you said, just genuine excitement to be doing what they're doing, you know? And you can hear it in the music too. It's not always,
absolutely.
I hear it, it's audible when a band is gelling, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I want to spin off of your of the way you were describing that how a band fits together, and if one person's gone. Mick Mars no longer in Motley Crue. Thoughts?
So, with all due respect to John Five, who I think is an amazing guitar player, and I think,
Oh,
honestly,
I agree.
I don't know him personally, but the energy that he exudes, he seems like probably one of, if not the coolest dude in the world. It still feels different. It doesn't feel like what I,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And that's not to say it's good, bad, or it's just, it's different, you know?
It's
Um,
almost kind of like the same vibe of when Karabi went in there for that one album. You're just,
Right,
everybody's
exactly.
kind of like, it's I dig it. I dig the album, but this isn't Motley
right,
anymore.
right. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, yeah, I'm with you 100% on that one. That one was, for me, I was like, whoa, like it was blaringly different, shocking. You know what I mean? I mean, even
Yeah,
just physically different to see it. And it's almost like kind of the same thing with John Five. Like, he's like the blonde guy. Mick Mars is always the really dark hair, you know what I mean?
right.
Like that guy, you know, I almost feel like there is a sense of like it does work a little bit more, I think, with John Five, but maybe it's because he's not the vocalist too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
what you're saying on that.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's even similar with like Pantera. I mean, it's like, you know, as much like I would talk about this a lot, like, you know, after, you know, unfortunately in passing, and you know, more recently Vinny passing, you know, it's like if anybody can do it, it's got to be Zach Wild. And like, I mean, my friends and I were saying this years ago, and it's like, cool, we got Zach Wild. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's cool. Charlie Benante is doing it too. I mean, all the respect in the world for all those dudes.
Mhm.
But as close as it could be to Pantera, but it's still not like, it's just not the same. I don't know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, you know?
I
But
1000% agree. I just wanted to. I like to get other people's perspectives, like when we're doing these things, because it's like an outside voice. Because we have our own thoughts and we've voiced
Sure.
them multiple times. So I like
Right.
to draw you in, if you will.
Yeah. No, totally. So fans like that. I mean, not to keep going. Sorry, like you get me talking, I'll just keep talking. But on that point, like, so Motley Crue, speaking of influences, when I was a kid, I mean, that they were one of, if not the band that made me want to play music. Just visually, I was just like, what is this? Whoa. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it's I'm not trying to say that it can't be done, but it's like, had they have not been what they were, like, and exuded what they exuded, and just the whole aura of Motley Crue, it felt like no one could be replaced when I was a kid, and like that's what I gravitate towards. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's cool.
They were definitely a force to be reckoned with for decades.
Yeah. At least for a decade of decadence.
Right. But
yeah. He's got them all over the place. They just come out of his pores. Don't
encourage me. So, do you have any other projects going on right now, or are you just focused on Sages?
Me personally, I'm just focused on Sages. Yeah, an old band that I was in for years. A couple of us are working on getting some of that stuff digitally released, but we're not active or anything like that. So my music focus is definitely with Sages. Yeah. So
very, very cool. I had another question I was going to spin off, and I didn't write it down, so I just went blank. So I'll have to let it go back through my brain. Oh yeah. One thing we do definitely want to know, is there a website that anybody can go find Sages and all your guys' stuff?
Okay, so this is the part where we're probably, if I'm being brutally honest, we lack the most. I mean, we're not the most savvy when it comes to socials. We don't have an official website. Basically on all the socials, our handle is We Are Sages. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. It's at We Are Sages. And there's probably more on Facebook than there is on Instagram. We're really trying to be conscious of like making a better effort at posting and how to post and what to post, but like we're definitely like, that's one area that we've got to so yeah, Facebook and Instagram.
We're too busy melting people's faces off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I absolutely get that, but and I was having some difficulty doing some searches, trying to find some information to be a little more prepared for tonight with you guys. I was messaging Randy. I'm like, bro, I'm getting things about like burning sage pulling up, and I'm like, this can't be the right stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Sages is not like it's an original, word or concept or whatever. So yeah, you get a lot of hippie stuff, like. So. But we are working on it. We're definitely making a more conscious effort, and we've ramped it up in the last couple of months for sure. But yeah, I feel like just, like I said, like we're not old by any means. I feel like we're all kind of old souls, and we're just like, that shit doesn't matter. That shit doesn't matter. It's the music, man. It's the music. And it's like, it's 2023. Like, anyone music, dude. So we definitely realize we got to embrace it. So
So let's circle back real fast to what Randy started to ask you at the very beginning, and I made him stop and wait so we could get to.
Wow, that was a long time ago. I don't even remember what that was, John.
His question was, what do you guys have going on right now musically?
As far as like releases or like shows or
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So we've got probably, so including demos and stuff, we've probably got between, probably close to 30 tunes that are active, current, new Sages material, not stuff that you can from the old record that you can find online. I mean new, with this new, you know, conglomeration of this new group. Some of those are demos. We've got probably between, I guess, 11 or 12 that are done, ready to go. We released Walk Away, and we're really kind of debating on how we want to continue to roll out, I say material, I guess it's content these days. Do people care about getting an entire album? Do we do a handful of EPs? Do we just do a single at a time? Like, I don't know. But we've got plenty of material, and we're kind of, that's one of our discussions. Like, how are we going to like keep it going? As far as shows go, we just played a show a couple weeks ago here in Sac. It was awesome. Small little room, which is great. Packed in there. It was great. We're working on doing some other stuff, maybe regionally, getting up and down, up top to the Pacific Northwest, maybe getting down through, Southern California and into Arizona, and, maybe working Nevada, Denver,
Right.
like, doing some meaningful, but like short blasts. Like, let's go out for 3, 4, 5 days, boom, get it done, come back, recoup, get a new plan together, go out and do another one. Not, we're up for anything as long as it makes sense and we can financially sustain it. But yeah, we feel like we're just getting started. So.
That's great. That's great. And that is really hard. I mean, do you put out an EP? I think full albums are a little much for people to digest anymore. And keeping people,
some of us still love them.
but I really do like the EPs and the just pushing singles every couple of months, and that's really cool. It keeps everything fresh and keeps everybody thinking about you. It's like, oh, there's Sages again. Shit, that's something new.
But you have to get that stuff active on the medias, though. Like, you got to get it out there.
Yeah, totally.
We're pushing to help you on that. There you go.
Yeah, anything you want. We've got a website.
Awesome.
It is all yours, sir. We've got a Facebook.
But
what's that?
Well, not all yours.
Well, yeah. I mean, we would love to be able to help you do anything that's going to further Sages, man. I mean, I want to see where you guys are going to go and how far you can take it. I would love to just watch you guys explode.
Well, I appreciate it. And I will definitely take you up on that. We will, for sure. As we kind of get our ducks in a row and kind of figure some out here. Like I said, yeah, we've been holed up in our studio for, the past couple of years, but like, we're really now just starting to Walk Away is the first thing that we've ever released. That's the first thing we've had to announce. Right. And that was literally a month ago. So, and yeah, I mean, we want to take full advantage and see, what we can do. And yeah, I think we're probably leaning towards doing smaller amounts of material more frequently, because, I feel like you do a record, if you're an established artist, okay, that's one thing. But like for a band like us, where it's like, we're in the infantry stages, or infantile stages, I should say. Like
infancy is what I think the word.
There you go.
In the infantry, you'd be crawling on the ground anyway.
Yeah.
They both crawl on the ground.
Look, man, I'm gonna rock you. But yeah, I feel like for a band like us in our infancy, once you put something like that out, like that's it, it's done, like it's a wrap. So I mean, unless it just catches in a bottle, like you're like, okay, I guess we're starting all over again. So it's like, you know, like no one. I mean, yeah, I get that there are handfuls of people, you guys, myself included. I love getting a full record, but like, it, like, dude, it's a different world, man. You know, and we're just trying to figure it out.
It really is a different world, and I get that.
Yeah. So,
Randy, do you have any other questions lined up?
I don't have any questions, but I just really want to hit back on the use us as you need us.
awesome,
that's what
man.
we're here for. I mean, seriously, that's what we're here for. Anything that we can do for you, we want to see you succeed.
I appreciate that, man. We all do, for real. Thank you.
Right on.
And I want to go back to one last statement for you guys. If there's anything else that you have out there that you want to put out to the world right now, like, here's your time, let's do it.
Oh man, now I'm on the spot.
Like, if you don't, like, that's cool. I mean, we covered a lot of material.
I think honestly, you know, since we spent time on it and we know that it's a point of emphasis for us, I think just the more that we can push where to actually find us, that's probably the most. You know, on Instagram, it's at We Are Sages. Facebook, it's We Are Sages. All one word, WeAreSages. Obviously, you know, I shouldn't say obviously, you can find material on Spotify and Apple Music. Walk Away, we just released. There is old material. There is an old album up on all the platforms. So, you know, you can hear kind of the evolution of Sages. But yeah, just, you know, I guess what people say is what, you know, smash that like button or give a follow or let's get that algorithm going. Like, I don't know, I guess, you know.
I think those are all the right terms. I think
right.
So
I'm trying. I love it.
I do want to mention, a couple things about a couple bands real quick. Before we cut out of here. The Midnight Devils are dear friends of ours. They are currently in Australia touring.
Okay.
They're hitting it huge down there right now, I assume.
Wow.
I will say that they were supposed to be on tour down there with Donnie V, formerly of Enough's Enough, the singer. And something happened, and Donnie V did not make the trip. I think somebody dropped a ball, like a promoter in Australia, and he canceled his whole tour. So they're down there headlining.
We forgot the singer,
right? And also there's this new thing out there. Steve Summers of Pretty Boy Floyd is posting, and he's just making phone calls to fans. Cool. I think it's pretty sick. I responded and I'm like, how about you do a Zoom call with our podcast? But so Steve, we still want you. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Come on, Steve.
I mean, it's not a personal phone call, it's out to the world, but I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's awesome. It's funny. So again, not to keep you guys, it's funny that you mentioned Enough's Enough, because an old band that I was in played a show in San Francisco with Enough's Enough, and it's funny. Like I feel like that band always, like, some way or another, it always kind of comes back around and back into conversation through the years.
Well, and also with that said, Chip Zanoff produced the Midnight Devils' latest album, so
cool.
Like, it's them being dear friends of ours. I've met Chip like probably 7 times. He never remembers who I am, and that's fine. Like, I get it.
He never remembers me.
I'm like, someday he's gonna be like, oh, you're still that guy. You're here again.
Right.
Someday it might happen. I doubt it, but it might happen. Those were all my little admin, if you will, notes for what I wanted to make sure I touched base on this week. Matt, if you want to hang out for just a second, I think Randy's gonna take some outro music.
Okay.
And We'll chat in just a second.
Awesome.
Randy, kick it.
We bang your ugly friends too.